Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us for our weekend weather update, plus the outlook for next week, where a possible tropical cyclone will be coming past New Caledonia and towards the north of New Zealand. Now, it's likely to fall apart. It's not a clear-cut journey like ex-cyclone Dovie was a couple of weeks ago. This one's likely to run into high pressure before it reaches New Zealand. The one term I hate the most, a fizzer, might actually be a fizzer. So let's get into it and see what's happening. On the satellite map, we've got downpours continuing around Brisbane, heavy rain continuing south of Sydney, and we've got a cold front on the way for New Zealand, which won't deliver a lot of rain, but it will deliver a cooler change that'll be felt right across the South Island and then later on into parts of the North Island. Mostly clear around Western Australia. You've got a lot of easterly winds at the moment, and that's why it is so hot. You can see at the moment the airflow here tracking up and coming along. The general airflow really is coming from New Zealand all the way across Australia, and that's part of the reason we're seeing such high temperatures on the way. You can also see a little bit of a storm up here that's spinning around. It's a tropical low right next to Darwin. So let's take a look at the rainfall. We'll start with New Zealand, then we'll take a look at Aussie. This is for 7 days ahead. So areas like this, dry, no rain coming for Taranaki. Might be an isolated shower, maybe, but dry otherwise. The cold front moves up the South Island, bringing between 2 and 10 millimetres for most places. Some might get a little bit more, some might even miss out. And in the North Island, you can see that east to southeast flow. That's why we're going to see a bit more wet weather popping up there around northern parts of Hawke's Bay. But again, the rainfall totals for a whole week are not that high at the moment. New Zealand does actually lean drier than average pretty much everywhere. There might be a couple of places where you get a thunderstorm and that changes things locally. Over in Australia, it's Brisbane, the Gold Coast, inland areas that are likely to see much more rain, over 120 millimetres still yet to come, and this is for the next 48 hours. And there's also plenty of rain around Sydney, another 50 millimetres there, and even more down the coast, getting up to about 90 millimetres as you get closer towards Victoria. Right, we've also got temperatures changing. Both countries have got interesting temperatures at the moment. In New Zealand, for today, Friday, pretty warm in the lower South Island, but cooler than average around the eastern North Island. As we get into Saturday, it turns back to normal for the North Island's east, but the South Island, you can really feel that cool change coming through. Temperatures inland several degrees below average. And look at this, the nighttime ones tonight. The North Island will feel much cooler than it's been lately. Even Auckland, which has been pretty warm for the past few nights. And then as we get in towards Saturday, again, it's the lower South Island, where in fact on Sunday night, there's even the risk of a light frost for inland areas. Not much in the way of frosts for Australia. This area with pink shading, so this is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. Those areas in pink over 40 degrees Celsius. And the area that's got the dark sort of purple shading, which you can see here in the very western areas, 45 to 50 degrees Celsius possible. So this is very hot weather. It's an extended heat wave carrying on for the western side of Aussie, but even northern areas right back into parts of Queensland will be experiencing that 40-degree heat. So incredibly hot. Let's get into the forecast. Here is Saturday. There is the cold front coming into the lower South Island. Just a few showers on the scale, and it's all coming around this big high. So that big high drives in the southerly to begin with. Not much going on elsewhere, but you can see those east to southeast winds that starts to bring in those showers, and those showers continue on, well, downpours continue on really, not just showers, especially around Brisbane where that rain could be very heavy still. On Sunday, it's still very wet in this area. Now you can see though that possible tropical cyclone. We keep saying possible because there's a few centres to it, and we've seen this before. You get a couple of centres, it pulls the energy away from the middle, and so it can be hard to get to that cyclone status, because for that to happen, you need gale force winds sustained right around the centre, and at the moment, that might not happen. But anyway, that's how it looks on Sunday up there to the north. Now, as we get into next week, you've got 1, 2, 3 areas of low pressure, so that's the reason why there is certainly some risk for a cyclone, but whether it's a tropical cyclone or just a tropical low, that's still yet to be locked in. Now, as we get into next week, high pressure dominates. There's a cooler southerly for some parts of the North Island, but northeasterlies coming in further north, and it's still very hot. Nor'westers coming in down around Perth. And as we move through next week, we get to Tuesday, this low drops away from New Caledonia. It could still deepen into a cyclone. The Fiji Met Service is going with a low risk for a cyclone to form. We support that because it is a messy setup, even though the conditions up here are perfect for a cyclone to form. But if it's got different lows around it taking energy away, that will certainly play a role in working out where it will go and how deep it will get. And our final map for Wednesday really does show the storm with two centres. It's got like a couple of eyes. Now, whether it stays like that, tomorrow's modelling might show it back to one and it's a cyclone again. So you can see there's uncertainty, but the heavy rain is likely to stay out at sea. The red line, north of that, it's tropical, very, very warm, muggy weather. It's pretty muggy down around it as well, but New Zealand will certainly feel that with the easterlies and more humidity, but there may not be much more than that. The easterlies are likely to pick up, could be some coastal gales, but as far as the heavy rain in the middle of a cyclone is concerned, I think at this stage it may well stay out at sea because of this powerful high down here, 1030 hectopascals. And the last feature, there could be some big thunderstorms bubbling up around the South Island in the middle of next week as well. That is all from me. Have a great weekend. Don't forget you can go to weatherwatch.co.nz for more information, for more maps, ruralweather.co.nz if you need to drill down deeper. And we'll see you again next week.